I was looking up a news story earlier and I found this guy. I have competition in the UK political commentary market. Chunky Mark. I'm intrigued by Chunky Mark. Just look at how he covers these stories.
The Conservative Party is institutionally corrupt, says voters. That's in a recent poll. They're lying, cheating, corrupt, incompetent, licking it. Dominic Raab, scandal. He's a bully. Nadine Dorries, in a new show, is going to interview taxpayers to shell out at least
I mean, this guy's just bringing up the headlines on his iPhone. That's all he has to do.
222,000 for Boris Johnson's Partygate. Boris Johnson earns 1 million in 6 weeks, but the taxpayers got to foot his bill. Look at the latest poll. Labour on 50%, the Tories on 21%. It's going to be an annihilation. Tories ain't cheap, you know. Not like chicken. Cheap, 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 cheap. Pensioners, you will work till you die. That's the Tory way.
This is all I need to do on stream. Load up tabloid front pages onto my phone and just literally sit here and read them out and put them onto camera. I'm putting too much effort into this shit.
Who are these lunatics in the right-wing press? Who are they?
I'm learning from Chunky Mark, guys. I'm learning. Oh,
But
yeah.
the Tories, not the planet. I painted that on the hottest day of the year last year. This is May Day. May Day, May Day. The day, look, Labour isn't working. That's a clockwork orange. We'll take you back to the
I think Chunky Mark is Banksy. I think you're absolutely right.
1970s. This is the Daily Mail reader.
Damn,
eye
everyone,
test.
go and buy Chunky Mark's calendar. This is fucking great.
Who's that? Who the fuck you?
Who is that?
This is what a Tory looks like. Oh, he said, who's that? They said that's Del Boy. That's fucking Del Boy.
Oh, is that
Why do only
Zahawi?
fools and horses
I know
work?
what he looks like. Chunky Mark, what a legend. What a goddamn legend. Maybe Chunky Mark's going to become a feature of the stream. I found him because I was looking for this article and he just titled one of his videos the exact same thing as the title of this article. Conservative Party is institutionally corrupt, say voters. For some reason, just now realised after 12, is it 12 years? Is it 12 years of Tory rule that we've had? I love how everyone seems to have only just realised this. 13 years. The Tory government is approaching puberty, shall we say. And people have just realised. A large majority of British voters believe the Conservative Party is institutionally corrupt, with senior members of the government more interested in personal gain than helping the country. Imagine my shock. Is this Nadeem Zahawi? I've been reading all about him, but I still don't know what the fuck he looks like. Is that him? Okay. Is that why he looks so annoyed? The voters now have little faith in the motivations of those leading the UK government. But you know what? I bet we'll still fucking vote for them in the next general election because they do these campaigns based on 3-word slogans that people just resonate with for some reason.
Let's start with the statement, the rather innocuous statement we got from Lancashire Police in the last hour saying, you will be aware that a video has been circulating on social media showing an individual failing to wear a seatbelt while a passenger in a moving car in Lancashire. That 42-year-old man is the Prime Minister, and it's circulating on social media because he put it up there himself. The reason why he was doing that video was he was touring the country celebrating dishing out £2.1 billion as part of his levelling up. As part of levelling up agenda.
Levelling up,
Nobody's
baby!
talking about that at the moment. What they're talking about is him getting fined by the police.
He's been fined twice now because he's part of Partygate as well, wasn't he? The Tory anthem, everyone.
Level up, level up, level up, level up, level up, level up, level up.
This happened during PMQs this week. Glorious, just mask off moment. I believe he's a backbencher, this guy. Jonathan Gullis. Tulip Siddiq asks the Prime Minister about the welfare of 200 unaccompanied migrant children who have gone missing. Jonathan Gullis heckles, well, they shouldn't have come here illegally. Just when you think you've heard it all, the Tory party have found a new low. I just love it, like when they have a mask off moment and one of them just says what they're truly thinking deep down inside. He had one of those intrusive thoughts. This time he just let it come out. James O'Brien's response.
It's inhuman. It's disgusting. It's despicable. Jonathan Gullis talking about 200 unaccompanied children who
I don't think there's actual footage of his heckle.
gone missing from Home Office premises.
I was looking around for it earlier and I don't think there's footage of the actual heckle.
Children who were in the care of the government shouted out they shouldn't have come here illegally. Listen, this isn't about being anti-immigration or being sceptical about asylum claims or falling for tabloid rhetoric about dinghies or signing up to Suella Braverman's disgusting Rwanda scheme. All of those are intellectually defensible, right? It is not intellectually defensible to greet news of 200 abducted children with contempt and insult. It just isn't. It's inhuman.
I'm sorry, I'm just reading up on Jonathan Gullis right now, and Gullis was among the signatories of a letter to the Telegraph from the Common Sense Group of conservative parliamentarians. The letter accused the National Trust of being coloured by cultural Marxist dogma, colloquially known as the woke agenda. The National Trust.
But Jonathan Gullis was a Jonathan Gullis was a
He
teacher.
shouldn't have been a teacher. I'm amazed he was
Yes,
a
but
teacher.
just to take your contribution to the next level, you would expect a former teacher to have empathy for teenagers, to actually have some sort.
Oh, he doesn't. Gullis has described Black Lives Matter as a Marxist organisation that wants to abolish the nuclear family and defund the police. He's literally taking every single talking point from the right-wing culture war in America and just desperately trying to apply it to the UK.
It's a performance piece. He's auditioning for his next job.
I thought that about 30p Lee as well, actually.
Well, he's from Stoke-on-Trent North.
Yeah.
It'll go back to Labour in 2024-25.
Yes.
No school would touch him.
Be tricky to hire him, wouldn't it?
There's only so many jobs on GBBs,
Yes.
so he's being as performatively vile as he possibly can.
In the hope of getting it. I think Jacob Rees-Mogg's just been signed up by GBB, so it's a well-trodden path, although he will no doubt be doing it in conjunction with his
Is he actually
duties
on
in the
GB
Commons. So
News?
I mean, if not as presenters,
probably
then these
will be.
people are going to try to become, professional guests.
I bet some brilliant comedy is going to come out of this, to be honest. Jacob Rees-Mogg is to host his own TV talk show on GB News, the broadcaster said. Mr. Gullis just seems like a really good guy. Brilliant Wikipedia page. Gullis described his classroom personality as a mixture of Boris Johnson and Jacob Rees-Mogg and said that he liked to play the character of an English gent. Why would you boast about that? Why would you say that with pride? Gullis was criticised by Piers Morgan after he complained of the media's sick obsession with the number of deaths during the coronavirus pandemic. He has now closed his Twitter account. Oh dear. Maybe he's on Mastodon.social. Gullis stated on his Facebook page that research by the National Maritime Museum into the Royal Navy's links to slavery was left-wing ideological nonsense. An absolute goldmine of a Wikipedia page, this guy. Oh my God. Just brilliant. Just brilliant. Some of these Tories have insane track records, though. This guy, he said food bank users just can't cook. Tory MP Lee Anderson has found himself at the centre of controversy again with his latest remarks about food bank use. Mr. Anderson, voted Conservative MP's favourite backbencher, fucking hell, has frequently questioned how many people have genuine need of such support. This week he tweeted a picture of a member of his staff with details of her earnings and outgoings. I saw this. The Ashfield MP claimed she was an example of someone earning less than £30,000 but did not need to use a food bank. I saw this tweet. Yoo-hoo, guys. It's on Yahoo! This is the tweet that he put out. Katie works for me. She is single and earns less than 30k. Rents a room for £775 per calendar month in central London. Has student debt, £120 a month on travelling to work. Saves money every month, goes on foreign holidays and does not need to use a food bank. Well done to Katie. Wow. Did she agree to this tweet? Her boss has come up to her and said, can I take a picture of you to tweet it out and give out all of your personal financial information? And in effect, it's going to expose how little I pay you for the cost of living that you have to endure as a person who lives in central London. It's actually going to expose me as your boss as paying you too little. But like, do you mind if I tweet out all of your personal finances? And she was like, yeah, cool. Go ahead, Lee Anderson. Maybe he pays her a massive bonus and that's how she affords to go abroad. Owen Jones with the dunks. Lovely to meet Katie. Now do the costs of someone who has 2 kids, who won't, for a start, be renting a room for $775 per month in London. I'm guessing that's for a room. Like, I'm guessing she has, like, roommates, and that's just for a room. Is this a feature that Vice does? This is great. I love this. How did I never know about this before? A shower in the kitchen. Yes! Fucking brilliant. The shower is in your kitchen, your bed is in your kitchen, your sofa is in your kitchen. This is peak London, baby. Like your average London apartment. Everything you could ever want in one room. Also, that's the TV stand, that coffee table there. That's the TV stand that everybody in the UK has. If I just Google TV stand UK and go onto the shopping tab. Look, all you need to type in is TV stand glass, and that is what comes up. That is the only TV stand that exists in the UK, is this shit. It's a TV stand monopoly. I used to have it myself. I used to have it when I moved into this house, but I've since given it away. I gave it away on Nextdoor because I was like, get this shit out of my house. This one looks really bad though. What? 190 quid a week. You have a chair to watch whatever's going on the bed. Cool. Oh, look at where the shower is. You can have a romantic meal there on your fold-out chairs. It comes with a chandelier, guys. Oh, it comes with the hob on top of the little like portable oven thing. That's how you know it's upmarket. Mr. Anderson's feelings on food banks first made headlines last May when he invited fellow MPs to visit a food bank in his constituency to witness a brilliant scheme whereby those in receipt of food parcels are first forced to register for a budgeting and cooking course. It's just so patronising, isn't it?
In this country, we've got generation after generation who cannot cook properly, they can't cook a meal from scratch, they cannot budget. The challenge is there. Come, I'll offer anybody. You sat there with glazed expressions on your faces, looking at me like I've landed from a different planet. Come to Ashfield, come next week.
I would love to see a fucking Great British Bake Off competition, but it's just Tory politicians. Just old, wrinkly white men who have their wives do everything for them. The Great Tory Bake Off, exactly. Yeah, give them a budget of 30p as well.
What I will say to the previous speaker is that all of us have food banks in our constituency. We don't really need to visit his because we're perfectly well aware of the requirement for them. But the requirement for them is not because people don't know how to cook. It's because we have poverty in this country at a scale that should shame his government.
According to the Trussell Trust, the largest network of food bank providers in the UK, the main drivers of food bank use are problems with the benefit system, challenging life experiences, ill health, or lack of informal or formal support. I remember this when it came out. This is a classic.
Good afternoon, it's Lee Anderson, your parliamentary candidate for the Conservative Party at the next general election. And what I'm about to say is my own personal opinion, nobody else's. I stood on this spot a few months ago banging on about nuisance tenants throughout this lovely estate on Corsica and the fact they were making people's lives a complete misery. Now I've been banging onto the council, banging onto the police about getting these nuisances evicted, so hopefully over the next few days we might see something. Now people will say to me, but they've got to live somewhere. That's right. So my plan would be, and again this is just my own personal opinion, is that these people who have to live somewhere, let's have them in a tent in the middle of a field, 6 o'clock every morning, let's have them up, let's have them in the fields, picking potatoes or any current seasonable vegetables, back in the tent, cold shower, lights out, 6 o'clock, it's the same the next day. That would be my solution.
Now, what's all this policy of putting antisocial council tenants in tents?
No comment.
What do you mean, no comment?
No comment.
But you stand by what you said on
No
that
comment.
video?
No comment.
No comment. Why are you... let's get a few shots of you on the knocker, if that's all right.
Yeah.
So he took us across the road, and on the third door, an effusive supporter.
Hiya. I'm Lee Anderson, your parliamentary candidate for the Conservative Party. How you doing? I recognise you. It's Steve, isn't it? Yeah, I recognise you. How you doing, mate? All right.
Yes, I'm
just doing a bit of last-minute campaigning. Are you going to be voting on December the 12th? And do you mind me asking which way you're going to go this time?
Well, I'm going with you. There's no way Labour are ever going to get my vote again.
And he liked Mr. Anderson's very personal policy initiative this week.
I watched that video.
Yeah.
What do you mean, putting antisocial people in tents?
Yeah, I did.
He's
I
not
think
allowed
you
to
were a bit
talk about
soft.
that now.
I think you're a bit soft on it. To be
A bit soft?
Yeah.
What would you do then?
I'd give cat and nine tails for.
Cat and nine tails?
Make them wear a pink tutu.
Pink
That'd stop them going round bullying anybody.
What about that?
I can't support this. Can we just cut there for one moment, please?
You can't support the cat and nine tails?
No, I can't support that. I can't support that. He's obviously got very strong opinions, but you know,
Very strong.
that's wrong. But I can't support that.
This is like a comedy sketch. This entire thing was like a comedy sketch. Can you just like sort of say that you agree with me? Yeah, sure. So anyway, I think they should get the nine tails, and I think they should be made to wear a pink tutu.
Just cut there for one moment, please.
You can't support the cat and nine tails?
No, I can't support that. I can't support that. He's obviously got very strong opinions, but you know,
Very strong.
that's wrong. But I can't support that.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much indeed.
Oh, mate, you've just finished my political career, haven't you?
Why?
So nine tails is a type of whip. This is a nine tails. This is what he thinks we should do to the poor people.
Well, how have I finished your career?
I don't know, mate.
It's almost like it's been set up for us.
Set up? Well, more than I'd realised, for it was only after Lee Anderson had left us that my cameraman producer had the chance to tell me that because Anderson was wearing one of our radio microphones, we'd managed to record...
He got hot mic'd, baby!
...setting up the apparently spontaneous doorstep encounter beforehand.
Don't just make out you don't make out you know who I am. You know I'm the candidate, but not a friend. All right. I'm at staff car park. Have a quick look. Yeah. All right, I'll see you in a minute. See you, mate.
At the time, Anderson said the call was merely about campaign material.
Right, best turn this off. Some leaflets have just come for me, so.
There you go. Fucking brilliant. Like this, they properly go mask off for some reason when they're in front of Owen Jones.
So, I'm at Tory Party conference here in Birmingham. It's always a little highlight of mine. There's an air of, I would say, turmoil enveloping the Conservative Party and unfortunately the country. So I want to gauge the mood of people here at Tory Party conference.
This is surely the worst start of any Prime Minister.
Liz Truss, out of 10, how's she doing?
9.
9?
I think this was uploaded during the 45 days when Liz Truss was Prime Minister. 10.
10,
yeah, I know you won't agree with that, Owen.
I mean, she crashed the economy.
Not yet.
Well, I mean, there was a massive sell-off of government bonds, the pound plummeted.
No, that's the markets overreacting and also the global economy.
Right, it's just it happened specifically to Britain, even though...
No, it hasn't. It's happened all around the world.
Just in the last kind of 10 minutes or so, well, you can see.
She's crashed the pound, the hedge
No,
fund...
she hasn't crashed the pound. That's an international thing.
So this is literally just over the...
That's an international... What? That doesn't even make sense. That's an international thing.
Crash the pound. That's an international thing.
So this is literally just over the course of today.
You know what? The pound's fine. Literally, the IMF and all of the global banks that have decided that the pound's crashed. We've decided here locally in the UK Parliament, that the pound's actually not crashed. It's just the entire rest of the world that have decided that it's crashed. That's just a foreign thing.
It's a pound. That's an international thing.
So this is literally just over the course of today. Okay, so it's from last night. And this is the pound versus the dollar, but it's a similar kind of picture against the euro as well.
That's a proper crypto rug pull right there, though. Like, she properly rug pulled the entire UK, Liz Trusted. Kwarteng was her fellow scammer, in the same way that Logan Paul hired a load of other scammers to scam loads of people with crypto zoo.
I think if you look globally, you'll see that the global economy is suffering.
So these kinds of lines, when currencies fall...
Guys, if you take a look at the bigger picture, you'll see actually it's not just the pound. Like, the rest of the global markets are just taking a sort of steady decline. And the UK pound is like oblivion. It's no different from the global markets.
What I just showed you, that's down to the lowest level again since 1985.
I think she's doing well. I'm very pleased with what they're doing. Very happy. Goodbye.
I love how they just walk off. She's employing the exact same tactic as like David Cameron did. Get asked a question on camera, rehearsed answer, one-line answer, and then walk off. Don't allow any follow-up questions. Rishi Sunak has started doing that now as well. Just fucking walk off.
Yes, you do have to make Britain. Come on, pull it on.
Okay,
put it on. So
hello again.
How do you think Liz Truss is doing out of 10?
I honestly don't think that this kind of imagery here really resonates with even most of the Tory market of voters. They see themselves as like very, very British, a lot of them. And if they see anything that's kind of like trying to copy the US in any way, they're like, I don't like that. They love everything British to the point that they really don't like American politics coming into it. So like, I don't think that this helps, to be honest.
But I can be frank. I know the plan put forward only 10 days ago has caused a little turbulence. I get it.
A little turbulence?
I mean, isn't it just because most of the population find cutting taxes for the rich and cutting benefits for the poor and a massive cost of living crisis toxic?
I think that's probably true, yeah. I wouldn't have done it myself at this stage. I mean, I'm in favour of doing it, but not at this stage.
They just fully admit it.
I think she's trying to sort of do that Margaret Thatcher thing in the space of 2 years.
I believe that this woman is on TikTok. I think that she's quite big on Tory talk. I know who she is because at one point I was going to do a video about Tory talk. Honestly, there's not much there. There's a few influencers on there and she's one of them. The young Tories on Tory talk are few and far between, which I think we should probably, count as a positive. There was so little content there for me to like make a video about that I gave up on the idea. Please show me more of this. I am a Tory. Please, TikTok, show me more of this. But it was the same people over and over again. There were like 2 or 3 accounts. I recognise this lady. She was one of the few Tory talk accounts that I came across.
Liz, your plans, your own economic advisor has said that would lead to mortgage rates, interest rates going up to 7%. Can you imagine what that's going to do for everyone here and everyone watching? That's thousands of pounds on their mortgage bill.
Everyone's mortgage rates have gone up literally just from the changes that she made. Like everyone's still reeling from the effects of that tiny time that she had as Prime Minister. Loads of people's mortgage rates have like massively gone up. It's insane.
It's going to tip millions of people into misery, and it's going to mean we absolutely have no chance of winning the next election either.
Yeah, I just want to know what the plan is for mortgages, because I was actually in the process of getting a mortgage as a young person, and I was told my initial interest rate would be 4.5%. And I was told today that the lender has pulled that offer, and now the best offer that I can get is about 10.5%.
That's already pretty fucking high. 4.5% is already high.
Markets come and go. And, I basically a pensioner, so rates of tax don't worry me too much, and the markets will come back again.
I'm personally basically a pensioner. They don't personally bother me that much, so it's fine.
People's mortgage payments are going to go up because of all of this.
I don't have a mortgage, along with a lot of people who don't have a mortgage.
Yeah, but don't you care about the people who do?
Yes, but I think we're in a new paradigm of increased interest rates anyway for other reasons. You've got to see the Fed, for example, in the States has increased interest rates by 3%. They've gone up 2% here. There hasn't been any sort of mini budget in the States.
No, it's just interest rates are going to rise higher than they would have done.
Yes, and that will also benefit some people. It will benefit pensioners and pension funds, for example. So high interest rates aren't necessarily a bad thing. They do have their advantages.
The free market, baby! Deal with it!
That is not my policy area. I'm the Secretary of State for Business. You must ask the Secretary of State
You've
for
got collective
DWP.
responsibility. Do you think it's fair to cut taxes on big business but also cut benefits for poor people? Is that
Benefits
fair?
are not being cut. You're talking nonsense.
If they don't rise in line with inflation, they're being cut, Jacob.
Where do you get your evidence from this? The fact that you just make things up doesn't make them so to fit
Why is
your
that
socialist view of the world.
Jacob.
And then you expect me
Jacob.
to...
Just ask him a completely straight question. You can't even misinterpret anything Owen Jones said. Is it going to rise in line with inflation? You've got an agenda with your question.
You said you're going to uprate pensions by inflation. You're the Prime Minister.
Look how down to earth she is in her tennis shoes. Maggie Thatcher probably wore them in an interview one time, and she was like, "Yes."
I think we have far too many people in this country who are fit to work, who are able to work, and should be working. They choose to top up their salaries with tax credits, or they, the benefits street kind of culture, I think, is a feature of modern Britain.
Oh, she's using the benefits street. Like Channel 4 did this show ages ago called Benefit Street, and it served as like this political talking point for the right. It was like this entire reality show about like supposedly one of the poorest streets in the UK. And they decided to call it Benefit Street to make it sound like they were scrounging off the government or something.
It was one of the best streets. Oh, Bill! No.
And obviously, like, they try and make it look as bad as possible.
One of the worst.
And many of its residents
Penny for the poor.
are dependent on benefits.
Probably 5% of people on this road that are working.
This is what poor people are like. They're just scrounging off the government, sitting on sofas in the street outside of their terraced houses, and they don't work, and they're just claiming benefits all day. And they're just lazy as shit.
Benefits street kind of culture, I think, is a feature of modern Britain.
Yeah, absolutely. Not like the capital owners who are clearly working for their money by just shoving it all into a hedge fund and watching it grow. Nothing like, there's no connection there whatsoever. Capital owners work. They work for all of the money they have.
I know very well that there are an awful lot of what used to be called in the parlance of the last century dole scroungers. So I would be very happy if they increased the benefits for the people who deserve them at the expense of some of those who don't.
Who do you think deserves the benefits?
There is no absolute poverty in this country, thank God.
I mean, charities will tell you that
There's no... What?
There is no absolute poverty in this country, thank God.
I mean, charities will tell you that there's a big phenomenon in this country of parents skipping hot meals to ensure their children are fed. That is absolute poverty. This is a rich country. People skip hot meals.
Zero poverty, guys. Well done, Tories. We've solved... It doesn't exist anymore. We've solved poverty. Zero poverty.
That is relative poverty. There is no absolute poverty.
I mean, how are you defining absolute poverty? People starving to death.
Yes, people who do not have food and shelter. I regard that as absolute poverty.
I mean, that
relative poverty is merely that you can't afford the Sky television, and you can't afford the foreign holiday, and you can't afford the car. I'm saying absolute poverty is shortage of the necessities of life,
Yes,
which are essentially food and shelter.
Yeah, which is parents skipping hot meals to make sure their children are fed.
That is, if it were necessary, that would indeed be poor. But it is still only relative poverty.
Millions of people are poor in this country, and
but not starving.
3 million people are at risk of
Oh
malnutrition.
God, this guy.
You don't believe that?
I don't know how he just like doesn't punch these people in the face. This guy's like, that doesn't seem right to me. Therefore, I don't believe what you're saying.
You don't believe that?
I don't see it. I don't see it in my hometown. I don't see people dying on the streets. I don't see people on malnutrition. I just don't see it.
I'm not seeing things extremely literally with my own eyes. Therefore, it doesn't exist. It goes for like poverty. It goes for like racism. I don't literally see people every day calling black people the N-word. Therefore, I think we've solved racism because I can't see it with my own privileged, extremely white, old wrinkly man eyes.
Most of the care workers work for private companies. Right. Those private companies have got to look what they're paying their staff.
That's why care workers should organise in a union and go on strike.
Well, no, it depends if you agree with unions and strike. I don't think any union should hold the country to ransom.
So what we're saying there, he's not saying employees should pay their work.
But that's literally the only power that they have, is to literally show the service that they bring to the country by stopping giving that service. That's the whole point of a strike. What else can they do? What else do you expect them to do? That's the only weapon that they have, is showing the country how important they are by not working. I don't know how he does these interviews without starting fights.
People know that when their bills arrive, they can either cut their consumption or get a higher salary, higher wages, go out there and get that new job.
That's absolute common sense.
Do you think that's realistic, just to tell lots of people on low-paid jobs to go and get a better
We have
salary?
absolutely full employment at the moment. There are more job vacancies than there are people unemployed. So yes, yes, it is realistic.
So care workers should just go and get a higher paid job?
If that's what they wish to do, then yes, because the job vacancies exist. Just to say people should just exist on their low-paid jobs.
The problem that lots of low-paid jobs are actually really, really important to the whole of society, and actually just expecting people to somehow get a higher paid job, because you say full employment, but lots of those jobs are low paid as well.
Yes,
millions of jobs are low paid.
People can always find jobs at the moment if that's what they wish to do.
No, we're talking about high paid jobs.
Yes. Well, no,
do you think there's lots and lots and lots of high paid jobs?
Yes,
that
there are, and pay is increasing across the board. I mean,
guys, Indeed.com salary slider.
Obviously, if you're a care worker, you can't go and work as a city solicitor.
You think pay is increasing across the board?
Yes, vastly so. In some cases by 50% or more in the legal sector.
So pay is, in real terms, over...
In the legal sector?
...or declining in the city.
No, you're talking bollocks.
That guy was probably elected because he looks a little bit like Boris Johnson. Let's be honest.
If it was my choice as a long-life Conservative, right?
If you're a Tory and Owen Jones is coming up to you with a microphone, it's not a good idea to engage him in conversation, because you're not going to come out of this looking very good.
By the way, guys, you know I'm here for bloody jolly up, don't you?
But you remember the Conservatives?
Which, let's be honest, as a business owner, it does help you, doesn't it?
Okay.
You remember the Tory party?
What do you think about them cutting benefits in real terms? Because that's what they're proposing. They won't keep up with inflation. That's what's floated. Do you think that's fair, given the cost of living crisis? Ezra McVeigh's condemned it.
We've got to make cuts somewhere, haven't we?
So do you think it should
Right, by the way, is this going on TV? I love that.
No, this is, when you say we've got to make cuts, that's poor people. That's people who are struggling, you know? I mean, do you think it's fair those cuts should fall on the backs of people who are struggling already?
I think you've got to incentivise people, yeah?
Do you think it incentivises low pay?
So I've been at the Ivy, had a couple of drinks, right? So,
I wouldn't have noticed.
Right, I've had a couple of beverages.
Sure.
We love a drunk Tory. It's disturbing, isn't it? It is like a comedy skit. It really is.
Do you think the fall in the pound, the Emergency Bank of England intervention to prop up pension funds, the likely increase in interest rates and mortgage payments as a result, is that caused by Liz Truss or nothing at all?
I'm so sorry. I'm actually
I'm so sorry. I have to go.
quite late for an event, but thank you so much
That's
for
all
your
right.
time. Have
Enjoy.
a lovely day.
Take care, you as well.
It's like it's written like a comedy. This can't be real.
Is it the lack of understanding or just outright contempt towards people whose lives are very difficult and been made more difficult by the policies this party's implemented in 12 long years? Is it the commitment to an ideology which has only delivered stagnating economic growth? Even that lot admit that. And the worst squeeze in wages in this country since the defeat of Emperor Napoleon. This party is in a terrible mess, and they are staring an electoral calamity down the barrel of a gun.
There you fucking go.
So